And moving on, we're coming up to our second topic of the day. And I absolutely love this topic, Ricky. This is one of my favorite parts of the year because it's like Christmas break. The Bulls haven't played a game in like 5 days. They're not going to play again until, I think...
They play as you are hearing this.
Yeah, as you're hearing this. So it's one of those situations where nothing's really changed, but it's a great time to go back and reflect. I almost choked there. It's a great time to go back and reflect on, the last decade. And I think it's kind of fun. A lot of people have been doing, decade lists because we're rolling out. The 2010s are over. And it's time for the 2020s, which is just a weird thing to say out loud. But we are going to give you the Bulls 2010s team, the best of 2010s team, which on paper, I'll be honest,
could win a title.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of these guys
has a chance.
A lot of these guys are on the team at the same exact time.
I know, but think about it this way. In their prime Bulls territory, we would have won a title with these guys.
There's a very good chance they were all healthy.
Like, think about them
wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, as they were, like, in their prime on the Bulls, because one of them, we didn't get until he was older, but he still played very well.
He did. He did very much. All right. Enough stalling. Let's get down to business. At point guard for the 2010 Chicago Bulls, obviously, is Derrick Rose. There's one direction to go in, and that's it.
You're telling me Kobe White's not making the cut, man?
Kobe White did not make the cut.
Ronnie Bruja?
I love him. Captain Kirk was an honorable consideration.
DJ Augustine?
Marquise Teague? Yes. No, we're not dropping a little
Marquise Teague.
Awful player. It's there's only one option at the point guard position, I truly feel, for the Bulls. We've had several different point guards rotate through this team, but, it's really been Derrick Rose's team, and then as we transitioned away from Derrick Rose, we had a couple of filler guys.
Tell me it's not Rajon Rondo?
It's not Rajon Rondo.
Dave's like, I would like Rajon Rondo.
I like Rajon Rondo, but it's not Rajon Rondo. I'd like to give it to Kirk Heinrich as well, honorable mention, but like it's not even close. Like there's a gap here, and it's massive. It's Derrick Rose and then everybody else. So I think that one, honestly, is super easy. Don't even worry about it. At the 2-guard position, Bulls shooting guard, couple guys up for this one. It's actually pretty close because of their time with the team and when it happened. But I truly believe it's Jimmy Butler's position to lose.
And we'll get into all of why we picked that after we listed. But yeah, Jimmy Butler, phenomenal.
Yep. At the 3, we're running back with our old guy, Luol Deng, collecting those paychecks till next year. I mean, he's just getting paid for days and days and days. Great player, though. Love Luol. Always a hustler. At the 4, it's got to be Pau Gasol. And then the 5 it's Joe. I mean, player who had top 5 in the MVP running, top 5 in the Defensive Player of the Year running. Like, he had a spectacular cap-off year, and he got old, and we let him go.
Who had a worse foul shot, though? Was it Joakim or Omer Ashik?
Joakim Noah. There was never really hope that Joakim would... Yeah. That form.
For the audio listeners, it's like you're setting a volleyball.
Yeah.
You have it, and then the hands go
But you're
out.
playing it forward. You're not going up.
Yeah.
You're forward.
It's straight forward.
It's so ugly, Joe. If he had any shot at all, he'd be it.
And talk about someone who's still getting paid. He's still getting paid by the Knicks.
Thanks, Knicks. Yep. Joakim Noah. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten picked up by a team yet, I'll be honest this year. Yeah.
Wasn't he on the Grizzlies last?
Yeah, he got a wet boy last year. He deserved it. He was a good player. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up if somebody goes down for big man depth, a la Portland, if Nurkic doesn't look great and they want to move on from Whiteside. Or Collins, yeah. He could be an option. Anyway, on our 6th man, we're giving over to Zach LaVine.
It pains me. It pains me to put him here, but he's better than Kurt Heinrich.
Yeah. Argument to be made. And then our head coach, of course, would have to be Tom Thibodeau. The only coach who actually won games with the Bulls.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to reverse sweep this a little bit here because this is...
Go ahead.
Tom Thibodeau, in my mind, was the only head coach you could choose. He coached for the most years on the team.
Well, we had 3.
Right. But he coached for the most years. He had the most success on this team.
We got the furthest under him. We could have went to a championship with him.
Correct.
Like, we came this close. It was just LeBron James each and every time.
Yeah.
Each and every time.
You know what? For as much shit as I want to give Tom Thibodeau for being the coach that ran our players into the ground and perhaps haphazardly helped Derrick Rose's career get off track, hurt Jimmy Butler's knees, ran Luol Deng into the ground, basically murdered Joakim Noah's future career. You know, all these players are talking about. Basically, Tom Thibodeau is the cause and, you know, benefactor of their early career, you know, points, and I love that. Like, but at the same time, I hate him.
His first year with the Bulls,
I'm conflicted on it. That's
his first year with the Bulls, we went from 2 500 seasons with Vinny Del Negro.
Oh, Vinny.
We were 500, 41 and 41 for 2 straight years. Lost in the first round. We brought that. The first year on Vinny, though, we brought that Celtics team to 7 games.
Great series.
As an 8 seed.
Not this decade, but great series.
Celtics, you don't want to see us in the first round.
That's sort of our jam.
We'll beat you. Rondo doesn't go down, we beat you. We almost beat you in 2008
that 08 series. I know this is not this decade.
09, but like, yeah.
It's not this decade, but like that was one of the best first-round series of all time.
That was the Derrick Rose blocking Rondo, and then Rondo getting D Rose.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. But my point being, Tom Thibodeau steps in, first year of the decade, 10-11. Oh, we're just going to the Eastern Conference Finals. No big deal.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose is going to win MVP that year. Tom Thibodeau is going to be Coach of the Year that year. Gar Forman, Executive of the Year, probably the only one of those that he'll ever have. And just how we did it of like the Pacers, not a problem. The Hawks, okay, that Hawks team was better.
They were the Spurs of the East.
And that was Budenholzer. Was that Budenholzer's team?
I believe so.
In 10 or 11? I am going to look it up. But, okay, brought us to 6 games. But you know what? We didn't get to 7. And then Miami. I remember being so hyped going into that Miami series of like, this is our time. LeBron ain't getting past us.
Yep.
And then the big 3 just roasted
I take it back.
5-1.
It was Larry Drew.
Oh, it was Larry Drew. Okay.
All apologies out there, Larry Drew. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yeah. No, I think that was a hell of a year for us. Oh, that was
that our best chance? Do you think that's, looking back, I'll say even looking into the future, is that going to be our best chance for a long while to get to the finals that year?
It looks like it right now.
No, but I mean, like, if you would even look into the crystal ball with how things are going right now, that might be, we might be looking at that for a while. It's like, man, that was our chance. MVP Derrick Rose.
We're a couple pieces away from that. I mean, that's the thing. That team took such a step, and the whole reason why it took that step was because you got a head coach in there with amazing experience. Tom Thibodeau came from the guy who implemented or was part of the implementation of that Boston Celtics defense.
Yeah.
And he earned his money. Good Lord, was our defense spectacular. We were smothering. We cut people off. Absolutely incredible. I mean, you had probably the most low-scoring games in the NBA in a year that year as well. Because, like, how many points can Derrick Rose score? Well, that's half the Bulls' offense. And you know what? It was a nail-biter every game. It was a fun year. But, like, I did not expect us to be that good. Oh, my God.
Well, and here's the thing, and this is why this brings me to the power forward position.
Yep.
Yes, you and I settled on Paul Gasol.
Yes.
But I feel like power forward is the hardest position to come up with who you want to put in this all-decade team.
I'll agree.
Because you could put Paul Gasol. Many of the like other websites, other Chicago Bulls blogs that everyone's doing this time of year want to put Taj Gibson there.
Tajay.
You could put Carlos Boozer there. You could put Nico Mirotic there.
Carlos Boozer.
Carlos, he played good.
Favorite memory of Carlos Boozer?
Getting hurt. Didn't he trip over groceries? Was that it? And he got hurt at home?
No, I was going to say his fist bump through. Not trying to ref. He was celebrating and just did one of these. And like as he was turning, just right into a ref. And it was just a moment. And you just saw like he was so happy, so happy. Hits, and he's like, oh no. As he turns.
I completely forgot that fucking happened.
Oh yeah, that's Boozer right there.
Now I'm gonna look it up on YouTube.
That's Boozer. That was. I think he was a fantastic player. See, here's the thing: Taj Gibson's like the ultimate glue guy. He's the team player of team players. He was never fantastic offensively. He's never fantastic defensively. He's just a guy who can kind of do all the little things to help your team win games. Yep.
Just as it happened, and immediately he's like, "Dude, are you okay?
Yeah,
are you okay?"
It was definitely not intentional, but it was a great play nonetheless. I think the thing,
and Taj has one of the greatest moments in Bulls history, one of the greatest dunks, I'll say, of the decade. Yeah.
And I just don't think. Here's my problem. Taj can never be the guy.
Yeah.
He always has to do that stupid power bounce, which the double-handed dribble.
You never go down with it.
You throw to the low post, and Taj gets the ball up here, and he's like, finish? No. We're bringing it down with 2 hands, and we're bringing it up with 2 hands. I hate him.
Boys and girls, never go down to the ankles. Don't go down to the knees. You get the ball in the post,
Finish.
You go right up.
Just finish. That's all you need to do. But he couldn't. That wasn't Taj's game, and that's fine. But no, I mean, I love Taj. He was a great player. Boozer, again, good player, offensive, just a bit of a slouch on the defensive end in a lot of moments, and that's why I think I had to go in a different direction there.
Because like the Bulls, Boozer was, let's see, set, and I'm going points and rebounds because he's a big man. 17-9, 15-8, 16-9, and then 13-8. Those were his big numbers with the Bulls before he finished off with that last year in LA. But I mean, if you look just that whole time, a 15-9-2 guy who shoots 49% from the field. That's what Boozer was. And I feel like there are some people out there that may say that Boozer deserves to be on this.
49% from the field's pretty shit.
For a big man.
When you don't shoot threes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I mean, 3-pointers, he shot literally 0 threes.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to look up, where's Paul's numbers?
He has a sweet mid-range
pulled
game.
up. I thought I had Paul's numbers pulled up, or was that last night?
Let's take a look. Pau Gasol. There we go. So in Chicago, Gasol, 2 years, both years All-Star, which is important. In the 14-15 season, he was putting up 18, 12, and 3 on amazing splits. What was this? Sorry, I moved my fucking cursor a little. 49, 46, and I know he wasn't taking many threes at all. And 80% from the line.
Yeah, he was shooting 38 over those 2 years, 38% from 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that
on a 3 game, like at best. So
the big thing for me with Paul Gasol, and I originally was the Taj Gibson guy. I'm like, oh, it's Taj. It's got to be Taj. Like, Taj is our guy.
Paul does everything.
Well, it's the rebounding numbers.
And the blocks.
That's what he brought to us. 2 blocks a game. Averaging 2 blocks a game over those 2 years. Yeah. And it just makes me laugh because of how mad I was. I still remember it to this day.
Trying to move on from Paul before.
It was during the 2015-2016 season because I remember vividly because it was my first job out of college.
Yep.
And the students I were teaching, the 7th graders, were huge Bulls fans.
Yep.
And they knew I was a huge Bulls fan. They're like, Mr. Widmer, are we gonna move on from Paul that day? Are we gonna move on from Paul tomorrow? And I'm like, cross your fingers, guys. Cross your fingers that we move on from Paul by the next one. And then I was so livid when we literally were like, we're just going to let him walk. We're not going to try to get anything for Paul Gasol. It was just one of those things where it's like, you love the player, but at the time, it was like, I feel like we should have got something for him. Everything else, I was like, I feel like the
only asterisk that you could make
is if you power forward or
is if you wanted to pretend Luol Deng played power forward in Chicago, even though he did not. He played power forward going forward in Miami, and Cleveland. But that's one of those things where if he was 6'9", he was a big guy. You could have moved him to the 4. You could have put Jimmy at the 3. You could have put Zach at the 2. That's the only option I will accept as an alternate roster.
The only reason I wouldn't, though, is because he didn't play at the 3 for us.
He played at the 3, not the 4.
Oh, yeah. He didn't play at the 4 for us, is what I meant to say. Now, if there were games where it was like, if on like not Bleacher Report, on Basketball Reference, if it said like,
he split time in rotations. He split time in rotations. But it was mostly never 100% because we had the guys like Taj Gibson out there playing with us.
We had Boozer and Taj, where we had Boozer, who was the veteran, Taj was
the younger kid,
young kid,
USC,
and it was like we never really needed him to play the 4. To me, though, would have been
perfect going forward now.
Yeah,
if you got a young guy like Luol Deng coming in the league, a 19-year-old who's got 6'9", and he's the perfect 4.
Yeah,
that's how much the NBA has changed in the last decade.
Well coached
he is
too.
The perfect 4 going forward, but not right now. When he came in the league, that was not the time.
Also, I mean, I say well coached because of where he came from, college. I mean, being a Duke kid, always well coached with Coach K. So getting that, and he wasn't even coming into this decade. It wasn't even like he was a rookie when this decade started. He was 5th year in the league, Yeah, it was 25 coming in to 2010. We had already had him for about
6 years,
5 or 6 years. But yeah, to me, the only three positions that are locks that are like no discussion. This is either point guard, center, and coach.
Yeah,
those are the only three. Like, name another center not named Brian Scalabrine that you would want to put at the 5 for the all-decade team.
I mean, if I'm being 100% serious, I can't. And that's the problem. I literally can't name another. I mean, Pau Gasol-ish, but no, he's not.
I mean, he played the 5 his second year.
Yeah. But no, I mean, there's not another center who we had this decade who was as impactful as Joakim Noah. Just for the memes, I'll let you debate Brian Scalabrine if you want, just because he's the white mamba.
Not even a little. But like, other than that, like, Jimmy Butler was going to be on this team. I mean, the big question is, like, because of Jimmy Butler, that's why Zach gets moved to the 6.
Yep.
And why Zach isn't even a 3. I'm trying to think anyone else we got, because like Ronnie Brewer was good, but he was never going to make this team. Do you think Kyle Korver deserves
some credit?
Because here's the thing with Kyle Korver.
I mean, he was hot sauce.
That's one.
He was the OG hot sauce.
He was so good at making threes that Stacey King gave him a nickname. And to me, he was an integral part of that Derrick Rose run team in the playoffs of like, without him, we don't have a guy that can shoot and make threes.
Yeah.
Because Derrick was not making threes early on.
No.
Derrick developed a three-point shot.
Derrick shooting threes was terrifying.
He perfected it in Minnesota, but
the fact that people bid on his threes were hilarious, so he blew by him. But yeah, no. Lots of love to Korver, all the credit, but no, I would not put him on this list. He was good, but not that good, you know?
Damn, I was going to say he made an all-star team, but that was not with us.
That was with the Hawks.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate team. But
yeah, Korver only played 2 years with us.
That's why you got to give it to Jimmy. I mean, he played basically 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 with the Bulls. And we watched him grow from like this tough kid basically into someone who is a do-it-all, the best work ethic in the NBA outside of like Kobe Bryant, level players. And he's just gotten better year over year over year, and he's continued to do so. I will argue to this day he's one of the best floor raisers in the NBA. If you got a team full of young talent, like that's why Miami's been the perfect fit for him. He has the right work ethic. He gets the guys around him to be better than they are on their own. And no, he's been amazing for the Bulls, and I miss him desperately. That's why I'm always happy to follow him. Like whatever team he goes to, I'll always root for Jimmy. But it's one of those situations where we got the most out of him, but we also took so many minutes from his knees. All of the minutes from his knees.
Playing under Tom Thibodeau, that'll do.
He led the league in, I think he was in the top 5 in minutes in the 13-14, 14-15 seasons. He had 38.7 minutes per game in each of those seasons, which is just insane. Absolutely insane, considering now players are playing like, I'll give you 30. You know, if you're an all-star, maybe 32, 33. 38 minutes a game. That man was out there working. So yeah, no, that's to me why Jimmy gets it over Zach is work ethic and then the team results.
Now
and he's got all-stars.
The thing I'll throw in over
asterisk just for funsies, not even like
the thing I'll throw in for Jimmy, because this didn't play anything into me. It all came down to who was the better player.
Yeah.
And Jimmy, obviously, to me, if you had to make me pick Bulls Jimmy or Zach. Or Bulls Zach.
Yep.
I'm going with Bulls Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
But how much do you think, or should it, have a kind of black spot on the reputation here of how time ended with Jimmy? Where it was like, D-Wade comes in, I'm going to say D-Wade got in his head.
D-Wade got in his head, I'll agree to that.
Because Jimmy wasn't the Jimmy that we saw.
Already, apparently.
Yeah, Jimmy wasn't the Jimmy we saw until D-Wade came in and kind of influenced him.
Jimmy had less of an ego before Dwayne Wade.
True.
Jimmy was always Jimmy. I think his ego
but
and his outspokenness...
we never heard like fights with the coach, calls out the coach, like not anything to where it's like,
who was our
you've
coach?
Got a guy like Rajon Rondo that's like, hey, you guys are fucking wrong. Like, stop bashing the young kids for they're fucking working.
Who was our coach?
I get it was Fred Hoiberg, but it's like you got a young coach. Fred wasn't bad. Fred takes a bad rap for no reason.
Well, for a lot of reasons, not for no reason.
I mean, first, if the front
office is the problem.
Gotta put him in a better situation.
That's where Jimmy's relationship instantly was hurt. You remember this shit coming out about the whole, like, they're trying to blackball him into signing a lower deal, or we're not going to play him and we're going to tank his value. And, like, Tom had to fight, for him, basically, to make sure that he could get that time still.
Tom's like, so I can fucking win games here.
Seriously. The front office just absolutely, like, pure, like, filtered evil. And I don't understand, like, how anyone can hold it against Jimmy Butler that he wanted to leave and he wanted to get out. That's for me. He was fighting with the front office for years. There's no problem. He didn't get along with the head coach because guess what? The head coach is like, we're going to play my style of basketball. Well, your best player doesn't play that style. Doesn't matter, playing my style. You don't have the supporting cast to play that style. Doesn't matter, playing my style. But your team is now old, slow, and doesn't matter, playing my style. Shooting threes. And I was like, does anybody else not see that this is a problem?
With me when it comes to, and I know it's a different debate, but it's important because this was our decade. This happened during this decade for the Bulls.
Yep.
With me, I feel like Fred was wrong place, wrong time.
Oh, yeah. If you put Fred on the team now, it'd be different.
It was, Fred wasn't a problem. And I don't even think we're going to play my style is a problem because the whole, like, we knew we were going to enter a rebuild and we just didn't push the button. We decided, hey, let's bring in D-Wade, let's bring in Rondo, let's make a run for the 8th seed, rather than saying, no, we're not going to sign those guys. We are going to trade Jimmy. We're getting rid of him. And now I'm glad where we did trade Jimmy because it was like we wouldn't have Chris Dunn or Lauri Markkanen or Zach LaVine if we didn't make the deal we did. But I feel like it was more for the younger guys of like, hey, Jimmy, I know you're here. You want to win. But do I cater to you? And then when you're done, okay, now I implement my system. And then I'm putting the guys who were already here. They had to do what we were doing, and now they have to try to learn my system rather than, hey, I know it doesn't fit you, but I got to retrofit these young guys for where we're going in the future because I feel like the Bulls maybe were thinking that, hey, is Jimmy not a part of the future and just didn't pull the trigger soon enough.
Yeah, the young guys like Denzel Valentine, Doug McDermott, Cam Payne, Isaiah Cannon, Paul Zipser.
We went ahead and we drafted. We
Anthony
went out
Moreau,
and traded for Doug McDermott
Michael
for a
Carter
reason.
Williams, Joffrey Levine, R.J. Hunter, Taj, Robin Lopez, Cristiano Felicio. Yeah, no. None of those guys are worth No.
I think Doug McDermott could have worked in Fred's system.
I agree.
Could he have been the guy? No,
Doug,
but he would have.
Denzel, and Nico were fine. But that's three guys who combined played about, I think Nico played 70, Denzel played 57, and Doug played 44.
Yeah.
So you got almost half a season you got just over half a season out of two of those guys. But outside of that, nobody else in that team matters.
Yeah.
Like not even a little bit of matters. Just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Even for those
Fred's
little
situation,
guys,
you got to know that like, if we're winning games right now, it's off the back of the fact that we're limping by on amazing defense from Rajon Rondo and Jimmy Butler and getting good looks from Dwayne Wade when he has it, any given night, not every night, because he wasn't giving it every night. But, like, we were still a top 10 defense in the league at that point. I think we were top 5 even. We were 6 defense in the league in points per game. And, like, that's what got us there. That's what got us to the playoffs was, I will agree, Rondo became the ultimate locker room guy. He went from locker room cancer on the Mavs to incredible locker room guy for the Bulls. And I will give him credit for trying to be the professional in the room and be like, you got, like, Dwayne and Jimmy, just shut the hell up. You guys are being ridiculous.
Yeah.
Young guys, we need you to win games. I don't care how bad you are. We're going to get better kind of thing. And that worked, and they got to the playoffs. And
we would have beat the Celtics. If it
2 wins over the Celtics with Rajon Rondo. No wins over the Celtics without Rajon Rondo.
When we jumped out 2-0, I was like, could it happen?
Oh,
could
naming the shit out of the Celtics. If you look back at our videos during that time,
could it happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
But no, I mean, the whole thing in my mind is, I at the end of the day, I look at Jimmy's time in Chicago, and I'm happy about it. And the time that he left, I'm sad that he left, but I'm happy he moved on. Yeah. It's one of those situations where I don't hold any grudge against him because of the way that last year ended.
It's also the I think the catch-22 is the right phrase I'm using here. We could say that the Bulls didn't move on soon enough from Jimmy, But then it's like, well, what deal would we have gotten? And would it have been better than the one we did got on draft night?
Yeah.
Where we were able to draft Lowry. We were able to get Zach. We got Chris Dunn, which...
The fact we had to give up the 15th pick?
It was Justin Patton.
Yeah, it was an awful pick by the Timberwolves. But that doesn't matter because you look at the guys who were taken later. And there were a lot of talented players.
So you're saying we just shouldn't have...
I don't understand why we had to do a swap. I think we should have got the 7 outright from them for that value.
Now, let me see. The only thing I can think of is I'm going to look at the 16 and the 18 drafts to see where Minnesota's pick was. Because if they didn't make a first round, so Chris Dunn was the year before.
Right, because Tom Thibodeau refused to play him.
So they had that one. Did they have their 18th pick? Because if they didn't have their 18th pick, then they would have needed a 17th pick because of the... I think it's a stupid rule. Let's see. They did not. So they had to... Let's see. Was this a draft night trade?
Dun, dun, dun.
February of 2015. So yeah.
That's not.
Or no, I'm sorry. June 30th. So it was a draft night trade. The reason why we had to do the pick swap is because they didn't have their 2018 pick. 2018 pick? They must not have, because the pick that they had came from Oklahoma City in the Ricky Rubio trade. Basically, where Utah got Ricky Rubio, and then they got a lottery-protected OKC pick from the Utah Jazz.
Yeah. All right.
So that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, looking back, I know it was 3 years ago.
Yep, it seems like decades ago.
So I mean, if we were able to do it and not have to give up that pick, I agree. I would have loved to have both of them. But the only thing I can think of is because what's it called? The Stephian rule, the Stevian rule. Where if they didn't have their pick, then they couldn't have traded one.
Yeah, no, I got you. Anyway, piece of shit, basically, is what we're saying going out of there, because I'm happy with them making that move, and I'm happy. Well,
I found it.
Well, you found it.
They gave up their first rounder that year to the Hawks for Adrian Payne. Remember him from Michigan State?
I do.
Yeah.
That was.
It was basically the trade was Minnesota acquired Adrian Payne. The Atlanta Hawks got a lottery-protected 2018 first-round pick in February of 2015.
And this is why you don't give front office rights to Tom Thibodeau. No.
He was with us in 2015, wasn't he?
No, I'm saying like for this deal.
Oh, yeah.
This deal going through with the Jimmy Butler deal.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, don't.
Yeah, so that's why we had to flip, because they gave theirs to the Hawks.
Shouldn't have done that. Anyway. No, Jimmy Butler is clearly better than Zach LaVine. It's not even close. And that's why he's on the bench.
A couple people are going to be upset Kurt Heinrich didn't make the team, but when Zach LaVine...
He's the real six man. If I'm honest, he's got one tackle of LeBron James, and that counts.
Well, that's more heart than Zach's ever shown. He's the true six-man position.
Yeah, that's more heart than Zach LaVine's ever shown in his career. So I'd be down for that. Okay. If it was a personal choice, I'd put Captain Kirk. But I understand Zach LaVine's a good basketball player. He can score real good. But that's about it. So I mean, I don't know. I'm conflicted. Because like the hardcore Bulls family is like, Kirk earned it, man. He's got the years in. He's got the blood, the sweat, and the tears.
That's the thing. Can you put anyone from the tail end of the Bulls because they haven't earned it? They haven't put their time in. They haven't punched that time card.
We gave 2 years for Paul Gasol. So I mean, technically, if you wanted, like, Lowry is on his third year in the NBA. Zach's on his third year with the Bulls, right? Yeah, this is year 3.
I think so.
Yeah, because injury. Yeah. So it's one of those situations where, yes, they have 2 years of proof, and you could give it to them if you wanted to. I don't think anyone on this team deserves to be in the All-Decade team. I think Zach's had a great stat year last year, but it's hollow. He didn't play defense. He didn't win games. So I think that's the big thing. I want to give it to the guys who grinded out games. I want to give it to that first half of the decade team. Basically, my decade team stopped in 2016.
Well, and here's the problem.
Yeah.
That team actually had a head coach.
They did.
They actually had a head coach that knew what he was doing, and we didn't call Tom Thibodeau incompetent.
Yep. He's not a front office guy. We know that. We learned that. But thanks, Timberwolves, for eating that bullet. But it's one of those situations where it was a changing of the guard, and then Gar and Pax decided to not change their roster over in time, and then they fucked up, and they fucked up again, and they fucked up again, and that's how we are as a team right now. We're held captive by our front office.
Yeah.
So our all-decade team basically is the 2010 to 2015 Bulls team, and just sort of stops there. We got 5 years of let's not ask questions.
Yeah.
Putting that nicely.
Last thing I want to mention, because I know this segment's running kind of long.
Yeah.
One guy we haven't mentioned.
Yeah.
Bobby Portis. Is it just because
one half of the 1-2 punch?
One half of the 1-2 punch. Is it just because of what position he played? Like, you can't put him at the 5
He's a small ball 5.
Joe's already got that one. Can't put him at the 4 because even if we didn't go Paul, it would have been Boozer. If we didn't go Boozer, it would have been Nico. If it wasn't Nico, it would have been Taj. There's somebody going to be ahead of him no matter how you kind of split the bill.
Yeah, I love Bobby Portis' offensive game, but he's a small ball 5. And that's his best position, and I was happy for him in Washington. I think he's struggled in New York because they don't have an offensive system. But he's still a good, fun player. And then they fired
their head coach. So
yeah, well, maybe Bobby gave him the crazy eyes, put Fizdale off. I don't know. I love Bobby. He's not a top player. It is what it is. But
yeah, he was the only one that I'm like, we haven't mentioned. I just want to mention his name.
1-2 punch, baby. Him and Nico, they've got memories there. We'll talk about that later.
And both of them now, not on the Bulls.
Yep. But yeah, I think that wraps up.
That's everything.
I think that Bulls team's super clear. As far as our decade goes, I don't feel like there's a lot of controversy.
I mean, it's a little bit more conversation than the Bears, though. The Bears is Jay Cutler, then 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 Rex Grossman.
Are you quoting me on that one? No,
not even Rex Grossman because he wasn't even on the Bears. I just wanted to say Rex Grossman.
It was basically just Jay Cutler, Matt Forte. Oh God, what was his name?
Position
wide receiver, and I loved him. And he came from Denver, and he went to Miami.
Sensenbacher?
No.
Oh, Marshall.
Brandon Marshall, yeah. Basically, you take that team of the Bears. I'm just taking the best players from that team. And then, could you imagine half of that offense with the defense we've got now? Game over. Anyway, that'll do it for this segment. Let us know if you have any different opinions on the Bulls team of the decade. I mean, you'd be wrong, but we want to hear your opinions. And I think there's a couple guys who do make a legit case. As much as I shit talk Zach LaVine, I know he's a good basketball player. I just Captain Kirk, childhood hero at times, and the fact that he tackled LeBron James is infinitely memeable.
And he is the one player that the fans will always love.
Oh, absolutely. In Chicago. He could be a head coach someday.
Yeah,
easily.
Even
he could be
an assistant coach
soon. Yeah. I wonder what he's doing. What is Captain Kirk up to? That's how we're gonna.
Let's Wikipedia it.
Let's figure out where Kirk Heinrich is.
Kurt Heinrich.
Is he coaching? Is he?
His birthday's coming up.
Oh,
he's a January 2nd kid.
Oh wow! Happy birthday, Kurt!
Happy birthday, Kurt!
Honorary 7th man.
That's gonna be what? Are we gonna be recording that day? I don't know. He is currently returned to Atlanta. I don't think international career. That was a while ago. I do not have an update. All right,
maybe
that was
just
2008
relaxing.
Was the last time we heard anything. But he's not coaching or anything.
Maybe he's just relaxing. Maybe he's just chilling. I'd love to know.
Playing some b-ball outside of school with a couple of guys who are up to no good.